Come on, sing it with me.
Nope.
Sing it with me.
Nope.
Sing it with me. You ready? I know you're going to have to.
Singing.
Once I start singing, you're going to have to do it. Here I go. Fish heads, roly-poly fish heads, fish heads, eat them up, yum.
Yeah, okay.
In the morning. No? Oh, really?
No. Nobody wants to start their Monday morning off with that.
The fish head song.
No.
If you haven't heard it,
You're very
go to
young
YouTube
or
and
you're
type
very
in
old.
fish head song, and you will love it.
It's a great song from the 80s.
All right. So I have a feeling when you guys started listening to the Truck Show podcast, you didn't think to yourselves, if only they would talk about Bollards.
I mean, maybe somebody did. Maybe this has been the moment they've been waiting for.
I think some people are saying, what are you saying? What word is it? Bollard? What is a bollard? A bollard is a...
It's the thing that a bunch of listeners said, you, including myself, said you should install at the end of your driveway to keep your TRX safe, and you dismissed us as being loony idiots with a dumb idea.
Well, I thought of a bollard as being like some bright orange plastic-coated cement tube sticking out of the ground. So I don't... Yeah, like,
why would we suggest bollards and say just put a permanent piece of cement sticking out of your driveway?
Well, I know that
then you couldn't drive
some
your
can
truck.
be bolted in. I've seen the kinds with little locks. You put a padlock on, you unlock the padlock, and you slide it off the base. And like,
how much do you want to keep your TRX?
I didn't know. Well, I do a lot.
All right.
But I didn't know that there were attractive bollards, as we will explain in this episode when we check in with Sean Lowry at OntarioBollards.com. I gotta stop right here, though, and
really?
apologize.
This is where you stop.
I gotta stop right here.
Okay.
Because I owe several people apologies who recommended bollards.
Okay.
RB, Trevor Nemero, Dave Zuschel, Tristan Perry, Gary Davis, and Zach Taylor.
No, you're missing one.
I am? Oh,
The guy
Sean
who brought
Holman?
him up. Yeah, the guy who brought it up.
So I feel like installing attractive, retractable bollards in my driveway could be
Would it be cheaper
the
for
one
you
thing that
to
would keep my TRX in the driveway.
widen your garage and just keep it in your garage?
It would be a lot more money.
Are you sure about that?
I mean, I think bollards are going to run me, let's call it installed, $4,000. A garage is going to be $40,000, easy at least.
All right.
I mean, cement, all the structure, permits, all that
For
stuff.
the bollards.
What's that?
Oh, by the way, have you checked to see if you need permits for bollards?
I ain't gonna ask.
Interesting.
I'm just gonna core some holes into the ground and pour me some cement. That's the plan.
So you're going to buy an expensive bollard and then put it in cheaply. Got it.
No, I'll do it right. I'm gonna find it. I think I'm gonna call myself some Rich Holdaway at Holdaway Construction.
I think you just did.
I just did.
So
Hey, Rich, I'm gonna need a cement saw.
core drill.
I need a core drill, probably, I don't know, 10,
No.
15,
Okay, let's be
16
honest. You don't
inches
need
wide.
any of those things. You need Rich to bring those things down and help you out.
Maybe I do, yes.
All right.
Well, I think I do. We need to check in with
Listen,
Sean Lowry. and-
Okay, we'll get to him in a minute. I need to tell you about my triumphant moment today.
When you convinced Lightning to get bollards?
No, that was a sideshow.
You can check that box.
I'm going to. I drove all the way out to Riverside today and back
Okay, so that doesn't win you any brownie points. I've done that too.
on my own in the carpool lane.
Yeah, did you feel dirty?
Nope. I felt like I was passing a lot of people.
Really, yeah.
So you guys who don't live in California may or may not know, but when you buy an EV, you can pay $21, maybe it's $22, to the California Department of Motor Vehicles, and as long as you give them your VIN, your registration, they verify that you own an actual EV, you can get a Clean Air Access Vehicle sticker, which ugly ups your car, and you put it on the four corners, and it allows you to drive in the carpool lane solo.
It is a butt ugly
Mine are
reflective
red.
sticker.
Mine are red. So it looks awesome on the Boulder Gray
When you
metallic
say
Aria.
awesome, it looks barely acceptable.
No, it's so good. But you know what? Because I don't look at him as I'm passing all the other cars.
No, I get it, but it ruins the
Lightning
look.
doesn't like it because he's like, that's dirty. I'm like, yeah, well, you listen, I got this thing as a tool.
It's because you're
and
a
the
single
tool,
person in the carpool
It's
lane.
a tool to get me around town faster so I can do more things.
It's not the only tool. There's one in it.
That's fine, but I have I've got the EV, and I'm gonna wring every ounce of benefit out of that thing as possible. My free charging, my super cheap lease rate, and my carpool stickers. And this will interest you. I had a question that I thought maybe, well, I know you'd be interested in the answer because you're Lightning, but you maybe have thought about this before.
Sure.
As you're sitting in the number one lane, watching Tesla after Tesla after Nissan after Tesla after Polestar after Tesla.
Yeah, those some Rivians in there too.
Rivian.
Oh, dude, I saw my first baby poop brown Hummer drive. It passed me today in the carpool lane.
Well, that's okay. Every time I go by, I'm like, man, you know what sucks is those stickers get destroyed when you try and peel them off.
They're designed to.
I know. So it sucks because you have to put them on your paint. And I'm like, that really is crappy.
And I see them all the time when people put them on sideways. You see them, like, oh, geez.
Once you put them on, you're done. You can't move them around. So I go to Amazon, and I found somebody is using 3M PPF cut to the size of the sticker with about a 1/4 inch over.
So you can put it on the PPF and then peel it off.
And then, no, you put it on the PPF. It still will destroy if you peel it off PPF.
No, but when you can peel the PPF off.
Yeah, so when I return it for release, I just hit it with a little bit of heat, peel that sucker off, no damage, no harm, no foul.
Very smart.
So I was like, that's pretty cool, because I was thinking there's got to be a way to put the sticker on. And what I originally just saw, somebody makes these little magnetic plates that are the same size as the sticker. You put the sticker to the magnetic plate, put magnets on the backside of your bumper, and then you just snap them on.
Yeah, but if someone finds out in your neighborhood, then they steal
yanks them, or the car wash, or they get blown off. I'm like, there's got to be something else. And so I was looking, and lo and behold, on Amazon, it was like, I think it was like, I don't know, $12 or $15 or something like that. It was under $20. 4 stickers cut to the exact size. You just tell them which year, because there's a couple different variations. Came to my house in one day. And on my kitchen counter, I lined them up. I put them on, put a little soapy water, wiped off the car, a little water with, I had some sticker solvent.
Cop will never know the difference.
Dude, and just put it on, and they're fine. And that way, when I return the car, I don't have to worry about having any damage. Because, if you scratch it, and there's certain things that they're like, yeah, I know. But the problem with these stickers are, you can't just take them off. So a lot of times it ruins the paint. So you need to refinish a bumper.
Yeah.
And this way, I don't have that problem.
Well, it's the same thing if you've ever tried to take off the registration stickers from your license plate.
Same deal.
And it pulls the paint off the license plate.
Yeah. I remember when I worked for the police department, we would find registration stickers that had been stolen. So the plate was not current registration, and it had a registration sticker on it. And I was with this one cop. He used to always just take them off with his knife. He's like, nope, not yours. Write him a ticket. He would just peel it off. But I learned there, you just do a crosshash with a knife.
So they peel up in pieces.
Yeah. That's the best way to do it.
I've done that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a smart move.
So anyway,
that's your tip of the day.
Yeah, there you go.
Slice up your the month sticker.
Or if you're driving...
No, it's a year sticker, not the month. The month stays in a year. Yeah.
Or if you're driving a Rivian or a Cybertruck and you want to get yourself a California Clean Air sticker, go to Amazon, get that PPF, because that's the winning deal right there.
I guess it does. It balances out the butt ugliness of the sticker a little bit, because you've got you could take it off.
I know I can take it off.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, today, I saved 45 minutes driving home.
I mean, that part is great. That part's great.
If I have to go up to Banks, guess what? There's no toll road or anything to Banks. You're sitting there the whole time. Yeah. This thing's perfect for that. Client meeting, drive up there, handle my business, shoot back in the carpool lane.
Yeah, today would have been a good day, because I sat in traffic for about an hour and 15 minutes on the 605 North. Motorcyclist hit the back of a dump truck.
I saw a guy.
One of those dirt haulers, and dude, I knew it was bad when his shoes were 30 feet apart.
Yeah,
his shoes.
I saw a motorcycle.
Dude wasn't even wearing boots.
Almost lose it today, and then I saw a Tahoe cut across. There must have been some road raging going on, but it was on the 15. I was heading out to the desert driving a truck that we'll talk about in our shorter episode this week.
15 goes from LA to Las Vegas, basically.
And I was heading out to the desert to do a little testing, and he cuts off like a black older Range Rover and ripped it back over and went up briefly on 2 wheels and then did the tail wiggle, and I was like, oh, so close. Like, that dude was all angry. I'm going to show you, but he almost lost it. And I'm thinking, yeah, dude, I don't need to see.
The road ragers never get their due.
Their due, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want them to get their due, but you don't want them to take someone else out with them.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. All right, so we've got a lot of email to get to on this episode, but not before we thank Nissan for making this show possible.
That's right. Nissan is the presenting sponsor of the Truck Show podcast. Nissan makes some reliable, durable, and great trucks. Head on over to NissanUSA.com, where you can build and price, or head on down to your local Nissan dealer, where you can check out the Frontier or the Titan. The Titan has the industry's best 5-year, 100,000-mile warranty. And guess what? There's a whole bunch of other stuff that Nissan has, like Arias, which are really awesome, or the Pathfinder that's coming to my driveway tomorrow.
Say what?
Long story short, lease is coming up on the 4xe, so we went to our friend Jackson and said, hey, I want to do the exact same thing. The car's prices increased like $1,000 in 2 years. more incentives, get the deal, blah, blah, blah. The lease payment's almost double what it is now. And we're like, oh, guess we won't be doing that. And just because with California being as crappy as it is, all these manufacturers are dumping all their hybrids here instead of the rest of the country because of the mandates. And so the residuals dropped out. And so nobody's buying like secondhand hybrids. And
where are they
EVs.
going, by the way?
I mean, there are a lot of them sitting on lots. They can't move them. And so it's just saturated with that. And so the value of the new ones, the residual is so bad that the lease rates are awful. So what's happening is a lot of manufacturers are subsidizing those lease rates to keep moving those products. Well, there's no subsidy right now. And I'm like, well, we can't do it. So I asked my wife, I'm like, well, what do you like? And she goes, well, a couple of years ago, I really liked that Pathfinder that we took to the Redwoods because we went up to Sequoia.
Okay.
And
that'd be kind of cool to see her in a Pathfinder.
So I was actually surprised that that was the car that came up because we kind of looked at a bunch of different stuff. She goes, no,
because she's gotten a little bougie over
No, she hasn't gotten bougie. I would say she's gotten less bougie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So when we
Jeep, if you took the badging off,
before
is like Range Rover-ish.
Before me, she had Audi A2, A3, A4, A5.
How's that not bougie?
No, A3, A4, two A5s, a Mercedes C-Class.
You're back in what I'm saying.
Two BMW 3 Series. That's what I'm saying. She's actually backed off of that.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
We got her other Grand Cherokee before this. Well, she had a Cherokee, and that's not bougie.
No, it's not.
And then I said, if you stay through this whole lease, because she had a thing where she leased a lot of cars, and upside down, the way your wife is.
My wife's the same deal.
And then I said, hey, if we get through this 3 years with this Cherokee, then get whatever you want when we're done. But we need to soak up. And I got such a good deal, took all the upside downness and spread it across Cherokee. So she did that. Then she got a Grand Cherokee. She's like, I always wanted a Grand Cherokee. So we had the last generation. And then when the new version came out, she's like, well, I want that. Well, she got it. It's been great. But we just can't afford the model that she wants. Like, she wants a certain amount of features that she's used to, and we're not paying what's out there right now. So she was like poking around a Pathfinder when we picked up the Aria, and she's like, "Yeah, I still really like these." And I was like, "What?
Really?
Like, huh?"
Right.
And so
where's my wife?
Yeah, they had a Rock Creek, and then so she's been looking at the Platinums, which are really nice. And so Nissan said, sure, they've been gracious enough to dropping one off for her to drive so she can do
How long are you going to have it?
A week.
Okay.
So she'll be able to drive it and see if it fits, all of our family needs and stuff like that. And you get second row captain's chairs, which she's excited about. So who knows? We might have two Nissans in the driveway.
That's kind of cool.
That's Sean Holman putting his money where his mouth is.
Yes.
That's right here.
Nice.
So we appreciate Nissan, and we appreciate them presenting the Truck Show podcast, NissanUSA.com.
All right, well, I've talked a lot about the Banks Monster Ram for the 2007 to 2024 Ram with a 6.7-liter Cummins diesel. Not only does it improve your throttle response, your fuel economy, your power, but what you guys know it for lately is preventing grid heater bolt failure, which could destroy that $30,000 engine. Well, Holman, you don't know this, but just today, we got our CARB EO on the 22, 23, and 24 model years for the Monster Ram. Up until today,
my uncle's truck, he's been waiting for the Monster Ram.
I know it.
And so
that happened this morning. We got the letter from
sweet.
California Air Resource Board. You can now buy a Monster Ram for your 22, 23, or 24.
All right, Uncle Warren, if you're listening, hit me up if you want one.
Yep, Ram. And you can go install it today and have your truck smogged tomorrow. It's awesome. It is the only 50-state compliant intake elbow for the Ram. If you're interested in learning more, head over to bankspower.com, type in your year, make, and model, and before you buy it, hit up your boy Lightning because I'll hook you up with a little something.
Part of the deal with the AMSOIL sponsorship that we have here is that Banks also has a relationship with AMSOIL, which is great because you love AMSOIL, I love AMSOIL. Banks includes AMSOIL.
That AMSOIL box right there
behind me.
0W40 for the Jeep was off my shelf at work.
All right, so part of the deal is when you guys sell a diff cover, you also include AMSOIL as an option to fill the diff.
It's called the first fill.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
So one of the things I love about AMSOIL is the Severe Gear comes in the awesome pouch. It's not like a traditional bottle that gulps all over your garage floor. Super easy to do a diff service, and it's got like just a little nozzle on the top. You screw it, you cut the top, and you can squeeze it into your diff, and the bag is awesome. You also get the 75-90, which is pretty common. Severe duty, 75-140 for towing.
The reason we love the Easy Packs at work, and I do personally, is because with so many trucks, to get up into the diff, into the fill port, you need a weird funnel and a long
if you don't have a
straw type
lift
deal.
where you can drop out the rear axle, the spare tire's in the way of the diff
It's
fill.
totally in the way. So with the Easy Pack, you literally can just take the nozzle and bend it over and just squeeze it like a ketchup bottle, or like a ketchup soft pouch.
There you go. Perfect. Ketchup soft pouch is exactly what this is.
Right.
But for gear oil.
It makes it so freaking easy.
So if you are looking for some of the highest quality gear oil on the market for towing, terrain, temperature, severe duty, we love the severe gear from AMSOIL. Head over to AMSOIL.com. It's more than just severe gear oil. They've got all sorts of fluids, lubricants, car care products, everything you need. AMSOIL, first in synthetics.
The Truck Show. We're gonna show you what we know. We're gonna answer what the truck, 'cause truck rhymes with the Truck Show. We have the lifted, we have the lowered, and everything in between. We'll talk about trucks that run on diesel and the ones that run on gasoline. The Truck Show, the Truck Show, the Truck Show. Whoa, whoa.
It's the Truck Show with your hosts, Lightning and Holman.
All right, so
This is that part of the show
This is that part of the
where
show.
we talk about your security woes again.
I think so. We're going to talk about Lightning security woes, but I think
When will it
this,
end, Lightning?
It's going to end, I think, with Bollards, and I do think it's going to end with Bollards. We haven't talked to the alarm people. At some point, we're going to do that because I think that's good for everyone. But another topic here, Holman, this is good for everyone. This topic is good for anyone with any car
Lightning,
or any
you
truck.
need an intervention. This is like somebody who is they don't like themselves and they're going to get plastic surgery and they're like, no, I need the lipo, the chin thingy, the nose drop, the Brazilian butt lift. When will it end,
listen,
Lightning?
I
Will
feel
this
like-
be the end of your journey?
I feel like all of these things that I've done, like
You just need to love yourself.
The sound effects that I'm blasting out of the front yard and the driveway signal and all that stuff that I've installed, right?
Yeah.
When someone walks in, onto my driveway,
Okay.
those are all Band-Aids. I think that Bollards will actually prevent theft, and I will be able to sleep at night.
I disagree.
Really?
I feel like you selling the truck will allow you to sleep at night.
I don't want to be that guy. Trust me,
You
you're
know
not
what
the
it
only
is? It's
person.
like you've taken a dog and the dog like nips at little kids when they come over and doesn't really listen. You're like, oh, I got to rehome this dog. And then you're like, oh, I'm the dude that rehomed a dog.
Yeah.
That's going to be what happens.
I can't give in.
Rehome the TRX.
I know people that are selling their TRXs. We talked about this before. They're like, you know what, dude? If that were me, I'd just sell it. I don't want to lose sleep at night over a car. I'm like, oh no.
Well, no, but that's disingenuous. If you don't are like, oh, I don't want to lose sleep over a car, then you shouldn't be driving that anyway. That's like a whatever. Then you don't care if it gets stolen because you'll probably get the bigger insurance payout.
I've done so much cool stuff to it, though. Anyway, let's call Sean Lowry at Ontario Bollards up there in Ontario, Canada, and hopefully he'll have the answer that will keep this truck in my driveway forever.
Yeah.
Hello.
Sean, what's going on? Lightning and Holman Truck Show Podcast. How you doing?
Hey, man. I'm great. How are you doing?
Doing awesome. Hey, we have a quick jingle that we need to play for you. Don't move.
Prepare to dive.
Prepare to dive.
Hi, Captain! Captain, we're too deep!
There's no such thing as too deep. Okay, that was too deep.
Because you see, bollards, they go into the earth.
Oh, is that how you chose that
they
one?
retract into the ground, and so they go deep, and that way they're flush with the driveway.
See, I think most people think of bollards as sitting above ground, and that's where they're
That's
they're
not
stationary.
No,
and
that's not a bollard. That's a post.
a post, just a post.
It's a post. No, bollards are the things that come up and down. Sean, prove us wrong. All right, which one of us is correct? Are there stationary bollards, or do they all retract?
You are both right, gentlemen. So,
All right. Rarely something
Everything
talked
from-
about on this podcast where we're both right.
yeah, so you can do fixed, removable, semi-automatic, automatic. There are many different types of bollards out there. Let's dive into it. Thanks for having me, guys.
So the reason that Lightning reached out to you is because we had an incident at Lightning's house where somebody tried to steal his TRX, but that's beside the point. It's everything that happened after that that brought us to this point in time right here, and that is because our wonderful listeners brought up gazillion ideas. Put stickers on your car, tripwires, loud bangs, flashes, put a cage around. Put bollards at the end of your driveway.
I've done everything but the bollards, and I scoffed at the bollards.
And Lightning was like, that is the stupidest thing I ever heard. This is dumb. Why would I do that? And we're like, because it takes up like 6 inches of width, and your car can't be moved from your driveway. And he's like, that's dumb. Yet, here we are.
Here we are, yes. That's how it went down exactly. So I took some advice from some of our listeners, and I clicked on their links through DMs at LBC Lightning, and it led me to OntarioBollards.com, and I discovered that they're not always bright yellow and bright orange bollards that are covered in plastic, the kind you see in front of gas pumps, so you don't run into them, or in front of your local Target store, so you don't drive a tank through the front door, stuff like that. These are attractive stainless steel bollards that rise out of the ground, and then you can push it back into the ground, and they're flush. They had photos in front of beautiful homes. I was like, oh my God, I didn't know these existed. So, Sean, have you been supplying bollards to people that are freaked out about auto theft like me?
We get 30 calls a day for people looking for this kind of solution. It's absolutely crazy. So we're in Toronto, and vehicle theft has been just rampant for the last 2 years, basically. And so, yeah, we've been installing this product, stainless steel retractable bollard, for about 5 years now. And we used to do maybe one a month. Now we're doing, 15 to 20 a week. Things have gone crazy. And like you said, the world of bollards has evolved quite a bit from, it used to be just a galvanized steel post that you'd put 4 feet below grade and 4 feet above, and it would just be a fixed permanent structure. But the need for this kind of protection has really brought this retractable, kind of more aesthetically pleasing product to market for us.
Well, I'm looking on the website, and what I am impressed with, and clearly you guys understand it too, because one of your keywords is basically attractive, safe, and secure perimeter protection. So attractive being the first thing in that sentence, you realize that there's a need out there for homeowners or for more upscale areas to have a bollard that disappears within its environment. It doesn't stand out necessarily. I'm curious, what is your mix between, let's say, commercial, industrial, and residential now? Are you seeing residential become a more important part of your business?
Yeah, it's been huge. The last, like I said, 18 months to 2 years. We used to be 98% commercial, and now, the residential market's probably 20 to 30% of our business. We can't keep up with the demand. It's crazy.
I started looking around here. Of course, I go to the website, and this is before I called Sean, and I started poking around, Googling bollard installation near me. That's what everyone does, right? And I find that there are a couple industrial places in like Long Beach and LA that will put in those stanchion-like devices around stores, shopping malls, things like that, but nothing about any residential, nothing. And then as I open up my search, it's really just Canada. And I go, how is this possible? How is this tech not popular, at least in Southern California, where there's a Porsche sitting in front of, a million homes, that type of thing? How is it just a Canadian thing right now?
I mean, it's still a new-ish product for us. And so just educating people on the fact that there is this solution out there, because people don't really know, what they can do. They've tried the club, they've tried the Faraday box, all the other solutions you've already mentioned, and just those things aren't working anymore. So we kind of went back to the old school ways of just make it so that even if a thief can get your car started, there's nowhere that they can drive off the property.
Sean, there's a video that's going on right now on online, going viral, that everybody's sitting around. A guy has a TRX in his driveway, and he blocks his driveway with a Raptor. They move the Raptor out of the way and then steal the TRX anyway. I mean, the madness.
I love the fact that the Raptor guys are all butthurt, because they're like, oh, he didn't want my truck, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty funny. But then we heard another story. Who told us that about they removed the guy's wife's Jeep 392 out of the way to get the TRX?
Wrangler.
It was a Wrangler? Yeah.
So it's funny. I'm kind of curious as a homeowner myself, and somebody that suggested this product unknowingly that you guys actually made it. Maybe I was half joking at the time to Lightning here. But what goes into the construction? You talked about, they're 8 feet, 4 above grade and 4 below grade. What is it like to basically do the install? Then how do they retract? What's the mechanism and construction behind them?
Basically, we have 2 models that are the most popular, a manual retractable and then an automatic retractable. And so the installation is similar for both, but the manual, basically we use a core drill and we drill a 14-inch diameter hole by about 4 feet deep, sit about 8 inches of gravel, and then pour concrete. And so the bollard is about 4 feet below ground, and then in the upright position, it's a little under 4 feet. It's a pretty simple installation. The automatic that we have, everything runs on low voltage cable, so it's a pretty simple installation as well. Just the bollards get hooked up to a control panel that you'd probably house in your garage, and then you can use a key fob or cell phone app.
I mean, even the bollards have cell phone apps now. Right. So the construction I'm looking at online, you have stainless steel. They're really beautiful looking.
So they're about 4 inches in diameter. They have you can get different colored stripes around it, so you don't just walk into it in the middle of the night. Reflective stripes towards people.
They're round. People will bounce off of them. There's no there's no square edges.
Well, the question that I had, and actually I didn't ask when I was talking to Sean setting up this interview, is let's say that I have the a-hole that really wants the vehicle, and he's going to push the nose of the truck against it, or he's got a stolen Kia, because that's even easier to steal. So he straps up some kind of a chain or something to the frame of the Kia, and he gets a running start, and he tries to yank this thing over. What's the stopping force of the bollard?
Think about this too. It's like a mast on a sailing ship. The mast doesn't end at the deck. The mast goes all the way down. Or like when they do the foundation for bridges and things like that. The magic is how much of that is underground. But I'm curious. What's the force that they can stop?
These are hollow, I think. They're not solid. That would be so heavy, the average person wouldn't be able to pull it up unless it was spring-assisted.
Correct. It is hollow. This product is designed as a visual deterrent first. It can definitely withstand an impact. Like we have seen a Range Rover hit it 10 times from about a 5-foot runway, and it still remains fully intact. It's not like an official crash certified bollard. We do carry those types, but for the residential, what we found in Toronto anyways is that if a thief pulls up to the residence and there's a bollard there, they're going to move on to the next house. We have dozens of videos that homeowners have sent us that a thief literally pulls up, scopes it out, realizes it's not worth his time to try and dismantle it, moves on to the next house. Having said that, it's set in concrete. If you hooked up a chain to it, you'd be there for a while trying to pull it out for sure.
So it wouldn't bend or snap, or I guess that's what force would it take to get it to like curl over enough that you could drive the vehicle out? And I'm not saying that I'm going to try this, of course, but I'm just curious. Obviously, you hook it to a tank, it's going to bend, right? If something's going to happen. But I would imagine that some guy just tries to yank on it, he's going to realize it's pretty sturdy.
Oh yeah, you're going to need to drive over it at 40 kilometers an hour with a big truck to do something to it.
I think we're burying the headline here in that these look way too nice for your house or your neighborhood. So what are you going to do?
How dare you?
What are you going to do to match your house? I'm envisioning Lightning installing these at the foot of his driveway and then getting hollow vinyl square fence posts to put over the top of them. That way it blends in with his yard.
How dare you? I sent Sean a photo of my front yard because I was.
And he said we don't have the vinyl bollards yet.
No, listen. Oh. I realized that my vinyl fencing is a little ghetto.
It's not ghetto.
But
I'm just saying
it is what it is. It's vinyl fence. Now it's not ugly. It's
right.
It's kind of ranch style, right?
This is what I'm saying. You're misunderstanding
me. You're making me feel defensive.
No. Stop. You're misunderstanding me. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with your house. I'm just saying that with the stainless steel, beautiful Ontario bollards out front, your fence is going to look not as good.
I agree. These look like something you'd see at the foot of a museum.
Or at the a brand new modern mansion in the harbor or something like that.
With
a McLaren on the other side.
But I have the way that I'm going to solve that. You ready?
Really? Okay.
So I'm going to swap out the garage door for a more modern garage door with like that dark tinted glass, very modern looking, because maybe some stainless in there as well just to tie it in. I'm going great lengths right here.
You can powder coat them too.
Oh, you should.
If you want a different color, we do.
Perfect.
We do powder coat them.
Can you powder coat that patina where they look rusted already?
No.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to do that. I love the stainless look. It's great.
So, Sean, question for you. What is the density that you recommend for a residential installation? How far apart would they have to be effective?
It depends on what you're trying to protect. I mean, the industry standard is 5 feet on center, but if you have a 7-foot wide truck, I mean, you can go 6.5 feet kind of thing. The whole concept behind this product is that if a thief can get the vehicle started, there's nowhere on your property that they can drive off. So something that we do with all of our installations too is, we do a full site assessment, just take a look at your property and make sure that where we're putting the bollards, there's nowhere that they can drive off. So what we've done in the past is if there is a vulnerable area on the side of a lawn or something, we'll put decorative armor stones there just so that the entire area is like fully barricaded, but also still looks aesthetically pleasing.
Now, do you guys have any installers or subsidiaries in the States? Are you a supplier for anybody, or are you strictly a Canadian company?
We supply into the U.S. We don't have a installation network at the moment. We're working on it.
I asked him about that, Holman, off the air, and I'm like, this is such a huge opportunity. When we spoke to our guy,
So you started USA Ontario Bollards LLC today?
do you remember when we talked to John at IGLA, right? And he was the one guy installing IGLA devices, which is a
Right.
security system that kept my TRX in my driveway. He's the only guy because it's such a new technology.
Hold on, I'm on Instagram right now. I just logged in, and LBC Bollards is actually available.
LBC Bollards?
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah,
really?
uh-huh.
LB Bollards? Yeah. I was like perplexed that someone hasn't taken this initiative and either licensed Ontario Bollards or become a distributor in LA. Like it's so wide open here, dude. Like it's crazy. There's so much money to be made because there's so many nice cars that sit in driveways because people just don't have the garage space. And most people down here have 2, 3, 4 cars for a 1 or 2 car garage. So it sits out in front.
I'm just counting how many cars.
How many cars do you have?
I'm trying to remember.
Is this something
7?
you would consider?
Do I have 7 cars?
I mean, no, Holman, is this something that you would consider in the front? In your driveway?
Well, I live in a good neighborhood, not by
Yes,
the
you
freeway.
do.
So.
Yeah, that's true. I got to see, Sean. There's a lot of escape routes by my house. Like I don't live in a
He
cul-de-sac.
backs up to a riverbed near a freeway near a major thoroughfare.
It is crazy.
And he's about 10 minutes from the port at like 100 miles an hour.
In 30 seconds, my truck could be gone. North,
Except for a
south,
helicopter,
LA.
because that big tree's right there.
That's
your neighbor's
true.
tree is overhanging all of your driveway, so
That's crazy.
No way for a helicopter.
I didn't think
to-
how easy it would be to get my vehicle down to the port of Long Beach and then in a sea container, or just as fast to get to Mexico.
15 minutes. No, it'd be 15 minutes to the port and
Or
an
an hour and a half,
to Mexico.
Yeah, exactly. You started talking about the theft early on in Ontario. Is it the same issue down here where guys are doing the key replication, getting in and hacking into the OBD port and just putting the vehicle in key pairing mode?
That's definitely one of the ways that they're doing it. But things have gotten pretty bad here to the point where sometimes they're just walking in and taking the keys right out of the people's houses.
Wow.
Has been
That's
one of
brazen.
the most popular things. It is brazen for sure. But yeah, stealing a signal. There was the Lexus was the number one stolen vehicle for a long time. I think they were just going through the headlights. I saw a few videos, and within 30 seconds, they had access to the computer and the car was started.
The manufacturers didn't really think about that when they decided to put CAN bus in all the lights and everything, right? And all you have to do is access a CAN bus wire. And if you know the code or you've got a program that'll speak to the vehicle, you make it your own within like 90 seconds. It's disturbing.
Yeah, it's scary. And it like, I don't know about in the U.S., but it's not getting any better here. And our government's not really doing anything to stop it.
No, I mean,
So homeowners are taking it into their own hands.
in fact, I believe the U.S. News was reporting that someone high in government, might have been Trudeau, had said, just leave, rather than have a home invasion, just leave your valuables by the front door and let them take it.
That's ridiculous.
And we're like, what?
What?
You guys do, eh? Yeah, I think it was the chief of staff for Toronto Police.
Okay.
They said, yeah, it's not worth it. Just leave your keys at the front door.
A car is stolen every 6 minutes in Canada, and the police are incapable of stopping criminals from stealing cars. It's so bad that in March of 2024, the Toronto Police Department advised people to leave their car keys outside their front door at night to avoid having their homes broken into by criminals trying to steal their car.
To prevent the possibility of being attacked in your home, leave your fobs at your front door because they're breaking into your home to steal your car. They don't want anything else.
That's ridiculous. That's a good way of not going anywhere else in America, walking into somebody's front door and announce.
Mackerel. Hey, Sean, what's the story behind Ontario Bollards? How did it get started? How did the founder found it? Like, what's the impetus to the brand?
Pretty interesting story, actually. So our founders are Gary and Danny. Danny had his own GC for, I think, about 30 years, and Gary owned a couple of his own businesses in the past. So Danny came from the construction side. Gary came from the more business side, and the two of them joined forces and started out of Danny's garage, basically just doing like galvanized bollards in front of, drive-throughs, storefronts and that kind of thing, doing onesie-twosie jobs here and there. And things evolved over time, and the world of bollards at the same time has just evolved drastically. From just selling galvanized pipe out of Danny's garage, we've now evolved to doing full crash certified bollards. We did Ottawa as the capital of Canada. We surrounded Ottawa City Hall with crash certified bollards. We've done the Edmonton Ice District where the Edmonton Oilers play. Same thing, surrounded it with crash rated automatic bollards. And so just to see it go from the most basic version of a bollard to see how actually intricate bollard industry is in 15 years, it's been pretty amazing to watch how the company's grown.
Well, I'm looking at the website, and under products, you've got the driveway bollards are number one, front and center. So that tells me,
that's me.
That's huge, right? And then there's bollards, anti-terrorism, which are the K-rated, retractable, removable, manual, surface mount, bolt down, portable, bollard covers, spring posts, bollard pipe. And you just go down steel barrier systems.
You guys listening, never in a million years did you think the Truck Show podcast would have an entire episode dedicated to bollards.
2 weeks ago, we had a New York Times bestseller on it.
That's true.
And now we're talking about bollards.
That's true.
And about a month
point.
ago, we had the world's biggest truck stop. You never know.
You never know what you're going to get on the Truck Show podcast.
That's right.
Exactly. Hey,
but real quick, the thing that caught my eye is what you were just talking about, and that's the crash rated bollard. So I was wondering if you could walk us through what is a crash rating for a bollard? What can it stop, and what types of places are you protecting?
In Canada, it's a K4 or K12 rating. And so a K4 is basically a 15,000 pound truck traveling at 30 miles per hour. K12, we take our product down to Buffalo, and in order for it to be officially crash certified, we have to crash a transport truck into the bollard, basically. So we get to go down, watch a truck get just absolutely ripped in half. And so, for example, to have an automatic K12 bollard, it needs to stop a transport truck going 50 miles per hour and still operate perfectly fine. And so that is what gives you a crash certified product.
Wow.
The market, it's crazy. The market for these products has really changed just as the world has become a little bit more volatile over the past couple decades. So yeah, anywhere that people gather in large groups, you should really have some sort of crash rated protection. Government buildings, embassies, military buildings, anything like that. Pretty much any new build in Canada now has some sort of K-rated bollard that's being specified.
I was gonna say, it's funny because if you wanted to have the world's biggest YouTube channel or Instagram, all you would do is do slow motion cameras every time you go down for bollard testing, and people, can you think of all the automotive people that would geek out over watching a truck be sliced in half by a pole in the ground?
You might be able to make enough money on advertising by monetizing your YouTube channel to pay for the trucks that you're going to destroy, right? I saw you working at trade show. It was a video, I think maybe in Las Vegas, some security show, and you were moving around a bollard that was about as tall as I was. As tall as I am.
4'10"?
No, it was over 5 foot tall. And this thing had to be carried around with like a crane system that was about 6 feet tall with a hydraulic jack and 2 wheels on the side. This huge apparatus just to move this bollard around. And I think you said it could like withstand some crazy amount of force, and yet it wasn't bolted to the ground. I could not wrap my head around how it works because it looks somewhat phallic, right? And it's standing tall and it's gray with the stripes around it. But tell me about whatever that contraption was that you were showing off at that trade show.
The Octablock. It's such a cool product. So
Octablock.
we were just talking about K rating. So that's K4 rated. So it'll stop a transport truck going 30 miles per hour. And no excavation required. So it's a 900-pound bollard that sits directly on the pavement. So anytime, you have events at a city or something like that, a lot of times they'll use the dump trucks just to cordon off an area and protect pedestrians. This is used in lieu of that, or any time that you can't excavate, but you still need crash rated protection. So what it is it's a portable crash rated bollard. And so basically the base of the bollard has teeth all around the outside of it. And so if it gets hit, it'll topple over, the teeth will dig into the concrete, and the other end of the base will raise up and immobilize the vehicle, essentially. That has been a super exciting product for us the last couple of years. It's huge in Europe and just starting to make its way down to the U.S. We've actually just sold some to University of California, Riverside.
That's where CARB's located at University of Cal State Riverside.
It's
California Air Resource Board, the devil.
I was out there today. It was out that direction. It's about 45 minutes east of us.
What does something like that cost? There's no way that that's cheap. I'm going to guess that bollard, 900 pounds, it's got to be $5,000 at least.
Great guess. Yeah, with between $5,000 to $8,000, basically, depending on how many you buy, kind of thing.
Canadian dollars or American dollars?
That's American.
Sorry, that's out of your price
it's
range.
It's a little bit. How
lady.
Crazy would it be if you pulled up and those were in my driveway?
Could you imagine every morning you went to work, you pulled out your little hand truck with the crane on it, and had to pick up your bollards?
This is not a little hand truck.
No.
This is the size of a car that's moving around this thing, and it's
you should just put the hand truck in front of, and then you don't need the bollards.
The most people will use a forklift or a crane to move those in place, but that's what I was showing at the show is that 120-pound person could move that 900-pound bollard.
Yeah, I'm looking at it on the website. You can see all the teeth on the base, and it's pretty cool.
So right now, Sean, if someone is interested in down here in the U.S., obviously it's easy in Canada because you could go to Costco, which is actually, I didn't tell that story.
Wait a second. Costco carries bollards?
So here's the thing, though. Only Costco.ca, not Costco.com, which sucks. Because, and I don't know if they're going to ship to me down here. I'm going to try and hack my way in with a VPN and shop and see if they'll send it to me. I don't know that they will. The thing, Sean,
I can't even imagine what's going to happen. Canadian and U.S. Customs, when we just send a T-shirt to somebody or stickers, or I my buddy,
it's awful. It's expensive. It takes forever.
Well, my buddy Buck was going to a meeting in, I think, where was he at? I think he was going to. He's in British Columbia, going across from, I guess, Vancouver, because he's going across from Washington. His company sells big stainless steel valves for oil production and stuff like that. So he had this cutaway valve. He was going for a 3-hour meeting and then driving back. Yeah, a sample, and it was a cutaway. And they made him, they're like, no, you can't bring this in there. They put him in the side room and all this stuff. And they're like, no, you got to, this is a product that could be used. He goes, no, it's a cutaway. It doesn't even work. I'm going for a meeting. He goes, well, why can't your Canadian subsidiary do it? He goes, because we're an American company. I'm the guy who carries this thing. And so he basically said no and turned around and didn't go to the meeting and argued with the Mounties. And he's on some list going to Canada, so he gets hassled every time he goes.
Wow.
Could you imagine bollards? What are they going to do with
Is it a pain in the ass? I guess I should finish my Costco stories. One of our listeners tagged me on a post, and it was a guy walking around a local Ontario Costco, and they had OntarioBollards.com. I guess it was your ANNT brand, right? I'm not sure the difference there. Yeah. What does ANNT stand for?
So ANT is our brand of bollards. Ontario Bollards is the parent company, and ANT is our brand.
What does it stand for?
ANT is short for anti-terrorism bollards. Also, it's kind of a combination of our two founders' last names as well.
Gotcha.
So there's a number of stories in the past 3 days, the TorontoSun.com and also the NationalPost.com, where it says Costco Canada selling retractable driveway bollards to protect cars from thieves. And so there's a story. So this is a thing that's just getting out on Canadian national media, and we've obviously got a ton of Canadian listeners. I'm sure one of those guys picked this up and went, "Oh, lightning!
That's
I got
exactly
this for you."
that's exactly what went down. And right now, I'm trying to figure out if Sean and I are going back and forth to find out if it makes more sense for me to buy through Costco or to go to him direct, because him selling me direct, he's got all these fees and stuff that not that he has to pay, that he has to pass along to me, tariffs and all this other BS, and no different than like when I sell Banks products up to our Canadian customers.
I got an idea. I got an idea. Let's get a big Christmas tree for the Christmas in the pod shed. You're going to go to Canada, just like your old radio days.
Oh, and I'm going to sneak them down.
Well, what you're going to do is you're going to paint them like a Christmas tree, and you'll glue needles to them in the back of the truck.
Candy canes?
Candy canes, yeah, candy cane bollards, and you just smuggle them over to this side.
I didn't think about that. That's a great way of dressing them up in the wintertime.
It's a great way of going to jail and never being able to go to Canada again, too.
No, I'm saying like put it when they're in your front yard to dress them up as candy canes. Yes.
Oh, you could do every season could be something else.
Yeah.
There you go.
What would you do for Halloween?
We'll talk tomorrow.
Candy corns.
Candy corns?
We'll find a way to get those bollards to you.
Just put them in an airplane and just airdrop them as you fly over.
Don't do that.
No, might hit the TRX on the driveway.
Yeah. So, what do you recommend for obviously most of our listeners are in the U.S. We've got a lot of Canadians, but if they're down here, should they go direct to OntarioBollards.com? What is the best way? Because I'm telling you, this is going to create some excitement. Maybe not just our show, but when people start talking about it collectively, this is going to happen for you in a really big way.
Yeah, 100%. So I would go, if you're in the U.S., I'd go to ANNT.ca. Ant.ca, or you can go antbollards.com.
I just pulled it up. Came up right away. Oh, and it's a slow motion of some sort of looks like a Kia crashing into it. Oh, and is that the engine leaving the?
I'm just watching it now. What happens? All the liquids fly out.
Everything flies forward, and the car completely stops.
Here comes the engine making its way out. Oh, that's the airbox flying through the air.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
the airbox flying through the other.
Dude.
Oh, here's a different view. It's coming straight at, and here it is. Hits the ANNT bollard, and everything comes at the camera.
It's awesome.
That must have been fun to watch. Holy mackerel! Well, listen,
it's super cool.
Sean, this is really great. You're protecting owners from thieves and making a living doing it. It's super, super cool. I appreciate the tech behind it.
I think that you should absolutely get something like this for your peace of mind, because you haven't been the same since you were violated. I feel like you have PTSD, and having bollards in your driveway are going to make you right again. I can't remember if I told you this or not, Sean. So my truck was broken into in February? Is that what it was? Sure.
Something like that. I had to wait on the glass for like 45 days because according to my inside sources, these trucks, these Rams in particular, are being broken into at like 100 a week across the U.S. So the glass is hard to get. So I wait my 45 days. Of course, can't have it in front of my house because anyone could just crawl right in. So I have to bring it to work and leave it in a warehouse. Finally get the glass in, and then it occurs to me, well, someone's going to break in yet again. So how am I going to protect it? So I get an alarm from CompuStar, and we do a T13 and a drone mobile, and I got all the GPS and everything, all the bells and whistles, and it's amazing.
And his battery only lasts for about 3 days.
I also hooked it up to my Phoenix strobe system and PA, and it's got a police Yelp. So when you break the windows, it literally is a police car at full volume. Then I went down to our friend Brian's at SoCal Tint.
See, Sean, we weren't kidding when we told you that he did everything.
No, I'm not joking. Like, Sean, like, this is crazy.
Crazy, man.
And the reason, and I'll explain to you why I did all this stuff. So then I go to Brian's at SoCal Tint, and we do this 3M material on the inside of my tint, and you can break the glass, but it will not fall into the vehicle. It stays put, like a shatterproof material. So now I can really keep someone out of the car. And then I designed, Matt Gamble, one of our engineers at work, designed a headache rack for the truck custom. So you can't get through the back windows. Back windows protected, side windows are protected. And I also, in the front yard, I put motion detection. And
you know what I'm hearing right now?
What's that?
I'm hearing you challenge thieves to take your truck.
No, I'm not. So then I have an alarm. Anytime someone walks up my driveway, which I sent you a picture, you can see what it looks like, 3 cars wide. You break the little invisible line. And in my bedroom, a little Asian woman says, "Driveway, driveway."
You know what I'm hearing right now?
What's that?
Hey, Holman, drive by my house in the middle of the night. Just kick the line every once in a while.
No, you're not going to do. I think you might with your daughter, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm going to let you record the speaker that I have. I have a little speaker that sits under the eave, and it's got 120 degrees of viewing angle. it's looking for motion, just like all those lights that turn on when you walk by your neighbor's house. It does that, except it squawks whatever. You can record your own voice.
I'm going to get a
and yell at
family
people.
of raccoons and release them in your driveway.
No, it doesn't go off with animals. But I'm going to let Holman.
I'm going to get a family of deer and we'll have them.
I'm going to let Holman be the voice of my squawk box, and you can say whatever you want.
Hey, get out of here,
No,
you.
whatever you want.
Okay, I'm ready.
You're going to record it. I'm going to bring it on the next episode. You'll
right.
record it, and that's what will be in front of my house. So when he talks about the fact that I'm freaking paranoid, it's gone to my head. Like, I've never owned this expensive a vehicle, and it has to sit in front of my house.
Can I tell them
every
something
day.
like, if you steal this truck, you're going to feel the thunder?
I mean, I'd rather you don't, but you can if you want. I'm going to let you do it, and I'm going to keep it out
All right,
there.
I'll think about it.
All right.
Yeah, put some thought into this one.
Sorry to take you down that path there.
Poor
with
Sean.
but
He just wants to go to bed. He's like, man, these idiot podcast guys are
But I
bugging me."
want him to know what good work he's doing. Like, if
We were actually really impressed by the product, and when Lightning sent me the information, I was like, this is what I told you. He goes, yeah, I know.
Sean, you've got videos of people not stealing vehicles. Do you have any videos that people have tried to steal a vehicle and like get around the bollards and then they're unsuccessful?
We've only had one incident. So everywhere we've installed a bollard, we've never had a vehicle stolen except one. There was about 6 feet between a tree on the yard and the outside bollard. And we said, this is a vulnerable spot. I highly, highly recommend you put a decorative stone or something here. And they took the cheap option and they did not put it there. And the next night, the Range Rover, we have video of it hitting the bollard about 10 times and then eventually squeaking through the bollard in the tree
I
and
know.
getting away.
Lightning's already measuring in his mind what the spacing is going to be, so he doesn't have to buy 4 of them. I'm thinking, so Ram TRX is 82.1 inches wide.
Mm-hmm.
I say you put it at 82.2 inches apart, and then that way it destroys the truck as they get it out, and then nobody wins.
No, why would I do that? I'm going to place these things every 10 inches apart.
Well, you're not made of money.
No, I can't do that. Whatever. He said 5. Would you say 5 feet apart, something like that?
Yeah, 5 feet.
Okay, well, that's what we'll do.
All right.
Holy mackerel. All right, Sean, you're the man. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We really appreciate the intel on bollards.
Amazing, guys. Talk to you soon.
All right,
talk
thanks.
to you. Thanks. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.
It's truck news time.
What's new in trucks?
We need to know.
What's new in trucks?
We need to know.
What's new in trucks?
We need to know.
Lifted, lowered, and everything in between. What's happening in the world of trucks?
Holman stood for that one. Kicked the chair out behind him
chair
and
hit the wall.
stood.
Yeah, I was
That
ready.
was kind of cool. Although you were squatting a little bit. If you pushed too hard, something might have fallen out of
It
your
already
butt.
did, sorry.
Did it? Oh, man.
Hey, Lightning, did you hear?
No. I said no.
Nope, I have not heard.
I know you heard about this one. Our man, the Prez, Mike Spagnola.
You mean Mike Spagnola, president of the Specialty Equipment Market Association.
I do.
All right.
Thanks to Mike and his team of amazing people, they released a press release earlier this week. Virginia becomes the first state to disassociate itself from California's emission standards and internal combustion engine ban.
Whoa.
That's huge.
Wow.
Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin on June 5th announced that the Commonwealth of Virginia would not adopt California's 2035 ban on selling new gas and diesel-powered motor vehicles. According to our friend, SEMA President and CEO Mike Spagnola, 17 states have attached themselves to California's emission standards over the past 20 years. 9 states have passed laws under resolutions rejecting government deciding what technology American consumers must purchase and buy. Mike goes on to say Virginia is now the first state in the nation to untangle itself from California's emission standards and EV mandates. We applaud Governor Youngkin for this bold action that rejects the notion that California should determine policies for nearly half of American consumers. We urge other states to follow Virginia's lead.
Wow. That's bold.
So Virginia lawmakers back in 2021 passed a law under Youngkin's predecessor that tied their state to California's emission standards, which includes California's 100% EV mandate by 2035. Will never happen. Since then, SEMA supported bills aiming to repeal the law have narrowly failed to pass the democratically controlled legislature. This is the thing I don't understand. Why would any state be so lazy about their own laws? Like, we'll just do whatever California does. It's ridiculous. So Youngkin, who was elected back in 2021, campaigned on repealing California standards and pledged to follow through during his 2023 State of the Commonwealth address. So Youngkin says this in quotes, "It defies common sense that in 2021, lawmakers decided that instead of writing our own electric vehicle laws, Virginia would simply do what California decided to do," said Youngkin, "because lawmakers outsourced their responsibilities and surrendered our values to California. Virginians face a mandate starting in 2024 that limits and eventually bans the buying of gas-powered cars or trucks. Unless we act, Virginia is hostage to the extreme policies of California. Common sense says that the law of Virginia should be written by elected leaders here, not outsourced to radical bureaucrats in California."
Yeah, buddy.
It's a hell of a statement. So SEMA has led the charge to pass laws and resolutions in 9 states that would outlaw states and local governments from mandating a singular vehicle technology over others and protect the American consumer's right to choose the vehicle technology that best suits them and their families. SEMA's efforts have also led to the successful delay in the adoption of California's ICE ban in Connecticut and Maine earlier this year, which are both huge. Again, let the consumers decide. The tech is great, but everything has a use case. Get the thing that works for you. I will say that driving an EV, there is a stigma attached with it where other EV drivers are like, yeah, what's up? We're all in this together. And then all the like non-EV drivers are like, you're a jackass, right? Like, so I'm seeing
It's
both
very
sides.
divided, yeah.
But I get it. I'm like, dude, I'm just driving my tool around to make money and go visit clients and do work. This work. But it's interesting. Even at the charging stations, I've had interesting conversations with people as I've sat there, plugged in. And
have you run into the douche truck driver yet? The pickup truck driver that parks in the charging station? Like, I'm going to park here just to be a dick.
No, there's so many charging stations around, and I haven't had any of that. Most people at the charging stations, pretty interesting. A few of them are like totally like, I'm saving the planet, which we all know is not the case. And some of them are like, hey,
how are they that misinformed?
I think they're just in their echo chamber. They don't listen to the Truck Show podcast, so they just don't know any better. And some people are just like, yeah, I wanted to try the technology. I thought it would be cool. I talked to one guy who had a Tesla, and he's like, yeah, I got it. And, it's great.
It's soulless.
It's great for around town, but we went to Vegas, and my kids were sweating in the car as we were charging because it was so hot outside. The HVAC is managing the batteries as well as the internal, and it was just not a great thing. We couldn't make it all the way to Vegas. We had to charge. We waited in line, and then the charging, it was hot, and it just was not what we thought it would be. I didn't expect that to be the case. And then I've talked to people who are like, yeah, man, I just needed something for work, or this is my work car, or whatever. So, I mean, I've talked to people all over the spectrum. There's no one class of Californians. Now, this is at a standard like EV Go charger. This isn't at the Tesla charger. I'm sure the conversation's over there at the Supercharger network on the other side of where I usually charge. It's probably way different, but it's been interesting. And then people find out what I do, and they're like, really? And you got one of those? You got one of those in the garage? You got a 392? And they're super confused.
Gross polluter.
Yeah.
In the car next to an electric.
Listen, I'm just trying to undo my own carbon credits here.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to help myself out. Anyway, lighting. Did you hear?
How about no?
No.
I have to say my good friend, Jim Morrison, retired from Jeep.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it totally sucks.
He's not old enough to retire.
Yeah. It was right about the same time our man Hellcat Everything Kniskus retired as well.
Really? They're pushing out all the large displacement fans.
I think all the Stellantis Frenchies are trying to get rid of all the Americans so that they can come in and ruin our brands here.
Well, you know what they should do is put more 4xEs on every lot and then
not discount the leases so they're totally unaffordable?
Yeah, and then suppress the sales of the vehicles that people actually want.
Oh, you mean the fact that you have to order a gas-powered Jeep here?
Correct.
But you can just go down to your local Ford dealer and get a Bronco?
Yes.
Yeah, somebody screwed up majorly. It's so wrong. Yeah, I won't go anymore. But
this is foreigners. Maybe it's not just foreigners. This is people saying, we know what Sean Holman wants better than Sean Holman knows what he wants.
Or they don't care. They just wanted it's back to the bean counters, back like when Daimler had Chrysler. And it's just like, we're going to rip everything. We're going to rip the soul out of all these cars, make them super cheap for a couple decades. I mean, the one thing that Fiat came in is they injected a ton of money. The interiors got really good. The engineering got really good. We had some really amazing vehicles during Fiat's right now. The Frenchies with Stellantis, which is Citroen and Peugeot.
Yeah, they're stripping it all out.
It's not good, guys. And I'm sorry.
Well, hopefully we got some of the last decent ones.
Well, I mean,
there are some complaints about both of our vehicles.
There's some COVID,
for sure.
building quality, but You think like Mark Allen, head designer of Jeep, Jim Repp, who was one of the souls of Jeep engineering, retired.
So where's
Morrison?
Where's Jimmy going?
He said that he
would it be cool if I call him Jimmy? Probably not.
He's like a friend to you, I'm sure. So anyway, he's probably listening. He loves our show, and
Jim, what's up?
We wish him the best because he was awesome for the Jeep brand and was.
Is he actually retiring, or is he going to consult, as many do?
No, listen, he's too young to be done with the industry, so
Right.
I'm sure that he is enjoying a little bit of peace and quiet for a little bit, and we'll be back on the scene somewhere. And I have some places in my mind that I think would be awesome if
like
he ended
as
up there.
a correspondent for the Truck Show podcast.
No. He's a C-suite guy. He's not he's not hanging out with us.
Damn.
But no, anyway. So Jim, we wish you the best, and really appreciate the friendship and all the cool things that we got to do at Jeep over the years, and looking forward to doing more with you wherever you go next. So we'll shout out to my friend Jim Morrison.
That's the truth.
Hey, Lighting, did you hear?
Nope.
So, are you familiar with YouTuber Alex Choi?
Of course I am. He is the guy that famously has the rich father that allowed him to buy the exoskeleton Lamborghini. You guys know him from the Tesla video when the Tesla went into like the Hollywood Hills area and shot over the hill and then nosedived and crashed and airbags went off, and he got that on video. And
well, he's got like 1 million followers on YouTube, and he does outrageous stuff. And I met him through some events. Not impressed. And
he doesn't really have a personality. He just has money to do silly things.
Well, he was arrested. So
really?
He faces 10 years in the pen.
YouTube influencer facing a federal charge for a video that shows fireworks shot from a helicopter at a Lamborghini.
Sukmin Choi, 24, a.k.a. Alex Choi, was charged with 1 count of causing placement of an explosive or incendiary device on an aircraft.
Wait, excuse me?
So if you remember back in June of last year, he had a video of a Lamborghini on a dry lake bed with a Robinson R44 helicopter with SAPD, like Grand Theft Auto, San Angeles Police Department, shooting fireworks at the Lamborghini while it was driving. Well, apparently it's illegal to do that sort of thing and then not have a permit. And, of course, he did on El Mirage dry lake bed, which you also need a permit because that's BLM land. So he's on federal land, violating that. And the helicopter shooting on fireworks.
You can't buy fireworks in California
and
like
you
that.
can't buy fireworks in California, which, according to this, he picked up in Nevada because he knew they were illegal here. So did a bunch of stuff. According to our local news, ABC 7, it says in the video, Choi allegedly presses a fire missiles button while 2 women in a helicopter shoot fireworks at a speeding Lamborghini sports car. Law enforcement believes the video was shot on El Mirage dry lake bed, which is, you guys will know, as a place where a lot of speed records are done. And then apparently there's a portion of a video where Choi made various references to himself being the director and thanked the camera company for being part of his crazy, stupid ideas. And some other comments that could be used against him, I would imagine. Anyway, if convicted, he faces a statutory maximum sentence of 10 years in federal prison. Dude, 10 years away for the clicks. Is that worth the clicks?
No, he's wealthy. He's not going to do that. I bet he gets just...
Dude, he
gets an ankle bracelet.
So you spend 1 year in federal prison. Because
I don't even think he'll get time.
Okay, well, I'll take that bet. The FAA does not mess around, dude.
I got you.
The
but
FAA does not mess around.
Telling you, ankle bracelet.
No,
at home.
No, he's getting minimum some type of confinement, and it won't just be home. No, in a prison.
Really?
So you think? Okay,
let's
hold on.
Let's put dinner or beer on it.
Whatever.
What do you want to do?
Well, we're gonna do a beer on a dude's life going to jail. That seems wrong.
So
okay, listen. You're telling me that if you were facing 10 years in federal prison, you're like, ain't going to do it. I'm only going to get 6 months. Dude, could you imagine 6 months in the pen?
It's awful.
Dude.
Yeah.
All because of clicks for YouTube.
He wasn't thinking about it.
Of course, that's the point.
He's like, I'm rich. I can do whatever.
There's a thing called accountability for some people.
I made an exoskeleton around my Lamborghini so I could bump into things.
I get it. But at some point, this may be that point.
So we'll do it over pizza. Okay? Whoever loses buying.
Okay. We go to Beechwood over here with that awesome sourdough.
Oh, that was
crust.
really good. Yeah, good call. Good call. I'm saying at home, and you're saying even 1 day of prison.
Yep. You buy pizza.
I'm saying 0 days of prison.
Yep.
And we're not talking about like holding as they're like awaiting trial or anything
No.
like
real
sentence after
sentence.
sentence.
Yeah, like real prison. Hey, Lightning, did you hear?
No.
There's apparently a wheelbarrow with a new land speed record.
Did you say wheelbarrow?
Yeah. Apparently, there's a guy who wanted to set a land speed record with a wheelbarrow.
That's super cool. I've seen shopping carts. I've seen motorhomes.
Yep.
All sorts of things for like land speed records, but not a wheelbarrow that I can recall.
So he went off to Straightliner's Speed Week, and Straightliner hosts multiple day weekend events in Europe and the UK. In the crowd were supercars, superbikes, and all sorts of weird stuff. He broke the Guinness Book of World Records for fastest motorized wheelbarrow. His official speed was 84.627 kilometers per hour, which he did on his last run. The previous fastest wheelbarrow record was 74 kilometers per hour, or 46 miles per hour.
What was this built on? Like a motorcycle or a trike or what? I can't even picture.
It's a wheelbarrow.
It's a wheelbarrow, but it's got.
Well, he's got a platform where he can sit on and steer, so it's like a trike.
That's barely a wheelbarrow.
No, there's definitely a wheelbarrow in this picture.
Oh yeah, where the wheels would go on, and that hoop on the bottom is where
that's
he
where
has
the
the gas tank.
Yeah. I don't know. That's pretty awesome. So it was built by a 35-year-old mechanic named Dylan Phillips from the UK. So according to The Drive, he says, everyone loves it. It's so stupid. You can't help but smile when you see it. And that is exactly what I thought of when I saw it.
Oh,
there he is.
Wow,
racing it.
it's a good motion shot right there. So he's
Nice
down kind of
pan
on
blur.
his knees,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Driving wheelbarrow.
That's super cool.
That's pretty rad. Hey, Lightning, did you hear?
No. Mm-mm.
Wow. A Ford dealer recently got fined over $160,000.
For charging too much for what?
They crashed a Super Duty, fixed it, then sold it as new.
Oh, that's dirty.
That's a bad one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crashed it like to the point where it should have been salvaged or something?
So it was a Ford dealer in Kentucky who lost the lawsuit. And basically, if you're from Lexington, you might know of Paul Miller Ford. So a new car director wrecked a 2019 Ford F-250, and they totaled the vehicle that they rear-ended. And then Automotive News said that the manager informed their supervisor about the crash. And so the dealer paid $6,298 for repair, but they didn't tell the sales department that it happened. So apparently,
at least they say they didn't tell.
I said according to Automotive News.
Right.
3 months later, Barry Smith bought the F-250, and he wasn't told about the damage. But then the truck had 656 miles on it. He was just told it was a demo. It's got some demo miles on it. Our sales manager's been driving it. Don't worry about it. But then he had a bunch of issues with the truck. He had like vibrations and steering issues. So he decided to get rid of it. And he only found out about it when the dealer he traded it in ran a Carfax on it.
Oh, no. That stings.
So the salesperson said that he was, downplayed the damage and that he didn't disclose it because things fall through the cracks, that they didn't follow proper
literally, they fell
procedure.
through the cracks.
Yeah, seriously. So the Kentucky Court of Appeals dismissed the buyer Smith's accusation of fraud, but it did find that the dealer was liable, and they breached the warranty, violating a law requiring disclosure of pre-sale damage that's over $2,000. So Smith came out with $8,026 in compensation, plus $73,001 in, what do you think?
In punitive damages.
Attorney's fees.
Ow.
And on top of that, the dealer is going to pay $80,260 in punitive fines.
Yeah.
So
as they should have.
Wow.
Yeah.
So buyer beware, I guess, even if you think you're buying it new. Always good to...
That's rare. I can't imagine that happens that often.
I hope not. Ugh.
Yeah.
Hey, Lightning, did you hear?
No.
Okay, this is one of those patent stories that you love so much.
Ooh, yes.
But it's also one of those stupid stories where you're like...
Yes.
Is this... Are you solving a problem that doesn't need to be fixed?
Well, I don't know. Tell me what it is.
Okay, so apparently... This is one of those things.
Uh-huh. Are you going to show me what it looks like?
ZF has created a steering wheel where the airbag blows out of the top of the steering wheel instead of the middle. Hold on.
ZF is in the transmission company?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hold on. I've developed a steering wheel where the airbag goes out of the top so they can put a screen in the center. Do we really need a freaking another screen? Does it need to be in the middle of the steering wheel?
ZF did this? The
Yep.
transmission company.
No, there's a
I know they do
They're
our
not
stuff.
just a transmission company.
I'm saying that, but yeah, they're heavy into electrification. We had a conference call with them this morning.
Oh, nice for you.
I
Did
can't
you ask
say
them about
why.
their weird airbag? Like, why do we
No.
need another screen?
You do. I like
you
it.
need it. You like that?
I kind of do. I don't like this design.
I'm not talking about the design. I'm
But
talking about having a screen in the middle of your steering wheel.
I don't mind having a screen in my steering wheel. No, I don't. I think that's. I'm kind of surprised someone hasn't done it already.
All right. Well,
But the reason they haven't done it, airbag.
ZF solved that problem. So
Interesting.
they basically say that the airbag, because it blows out from the top and through the hole in the top of the steering wheel toward you, allows there to be a screen in the middle.
That's very creative.
So I told you,
And
it's one of those patent things that you
that's a
like.
patent well worth having.
Now, they say it's not for entertainment. The idea is for the screen to give you more situational awareness and what's going on with your safety systems.
But you
but
can
we
also
all
make
know
it-
that's what you say in the beginning before.
But if it's soft buttons, you can move your buttons anywhere. You
Listen.
can have configuration like because
People
they
are
always
listen.
put the up, down, and left, right of
People-
the steering controls in the wrong place on every
People are
steering wheel.
going to be watching movies on that screen in no time. And
Yeah,
if
they
you
will
get the
hack
cheap
that.
model where you don't have a screen in the middle, but the airbag blows out from the top, you're just going to put a magnet and put your iPhone there anyway.
So I don't know why your story about the steering wheel inspires me to ask you about enhance sexy buttons. Have you heard of this?
So Model S, Model 3, Model X, Model Y is
For
what
the
they're
Tesla,
doing.
yes,
Yep.
that's correct. So Joshua, who is one of our mechanical engineers at work, has a Tesla. And so obviously we clown him about having a Tesla at a diesel performance company, but so be it. He pulls in and he's so pumped over this big knob that's in the center console of his Tesla. I just don't notice it because it figured it's stock.
Right.
And he goes, no, this is aftermarket. I said, how's that aftermarket? How's someone in Tesla's electronics? Because Tesla is famous for not letting people into their electronics.
Okay.
There's no one tuning them that I know of or any of that stuff. And you got this big BMW-esque knob in the center console.
It's a
It is
rotary controller.
A rotary controller with it's got 4 buttons, 2 on either side. Very much like every modern car you've seen with a rotary knob in the center. But this one looks Tesla. It
looks like a thermostat.
That's
It
exactly
looks like a Google Nest or something. like that.
That's exactly right. But it controls all this stuff, right? You can move the seats around. You can pop the hood of the trunk or the windows or configure all this stuff using this knob that apparently was hard to access in the in the center
because
stack
not
screen.
having buttons or interface sucks.
Right. But
And I
here's
hate
the
that.
question. How did this Bulgaria-based company get into Tesla's software?
There's people who are in Tesla software.
Are there?
There's a Canadian company that does performance improvements, and there's people who are taking Tesla motors, and they've got to have software that run all that stuff.
No, but you can make a Tesla motor run on external custom software.
I know, but that's not
what I'm saying. Is these guys?
What I'm saying is that there are companies in Tesla software today, right now.
There are.
Yes.
Well, I mean, clearly, I'm looking at their website at what E98 and Hato. Just look up enhanced sexy buttons. It'll pop right up. If you have a Tesla, this is bizarre. Like I thought they were like unhackable. That was just
No,
my.
who told you that?
No one told me that. I just assumed Tesla was unhackable.
Of course you did.
Well, because it's all digital. Why wouldn't they be unhackable? But clearly
No,
they're not.
wait, they're all analog is unhackable.
No. What I'm saying is, no, analog is hackable. Digital is
is
everything-
hackable also.
Well, it can be encrypted. You've got to do.
Uh-huh.
I'm just saying, like I'm falsely assumed that Tesla was very good at locking people out, and if someone gets in, they change the code, they lock you out again.
That's part of the problem for the companies that are in Tesla is that they can do over-the-air update and brick it, so they have to have people that are on top of it.
But it's wild. They've got buttons and knobs and a screen called the Commander and all this stuff for Tesla. I'm thinking, how did they get in? And then it occurred to me, Holman, see if you go, this is a theory. I think that when Tesla or other companies like Stellantis or whoever open up manufacturing plants or design centers in other countries that are not as, that may have a higher corruption level than here,
Maybe.
people get paid off to share code that would otherwise be proprietary.
Maybe.
And so I don't know this, but it sounds plausible, right? And so if I have $100,000 and I hand a developer in Tesla in Bulgaria, 100G, and I'm like, slip me a USB drive with all the code. Now for $100,000, I'm in Teslas and I can go create a bunch of really cool knobs and buttons and screens and everything.
Okay.
Do you think, I mean, sound legit?
Sure.
Just wild. I don't know.
All right, well, let's just fade into the next Tesla story while we're at it. Our friends over at Unplugged Performance recently just showed off their upfit prototype of the Tesla Cybertruck as a police car.
Yeah, interesting. That's out of RoboCop. I've seen it in the movie.
Drop the gun. You are under arrest.
It's not, but
no, that
it
has
might
to be. That was in RoboCop. Like that was.
It's kind of cool looking. I mean, it definitely looks futuristic.
Your move, creep.
I don't know that it makes a great police vehicle because it's not space efficient. But they're already doing Model 3s as police cars, or I think Model Ys as police cars. So they have an upfit division. So good for them on doing it. I will be curious if anybody jumps on it. We'll see.
If they do, they won't dent it.
Well, and it's bulletproof, so you got to like that. So maybe it is good for police cars. But it gets lights, sirens, a PA system, radio, computer system, forged upfit wheels, upgraded brakes, and Starlink satellite internet connectivity. There will also be partitions for prisoners in the back, storage options for weapons, tools, a canine enclosure as an option. So a bunch of different stuff. So maybe your local police department will be cruising around in Tesla Cybertrucks in no time.
Let's hope not.
Why? Because they'll catch your TRX?
Ooh, snap. Ouch.
Hey, Lighting, have you heard?
What is no?
The Mopar Jeep Gladiator limited edition will cost $72,190. They'll be limited to $250. It basically gives you all these Mopar accessories on a Gladiator from the factory. You get that
$72,000
custom graphics package, two-tone calfskin leather, heavy-duty rock rails, the Mopar kit, and they're only going to be making a few of them, plus an $1,895 destination charge.
I like the little badge they got there. 001 of 250.
Yeah, badge is cool.
Yeah,
Colors are cool.
That's still a lot of bread.
Tailgate wrap is pretty cool. So you get Falcons on 17-inch aluminum wheels with black inserts.
Two-tone catskin leather.
Two-tone catskin leather.
Maraschino red seats.
You also get the Mopar headliner, black sill trim, custom badges like you noted. So just all the things. And then you can also get the 2-inch lift that has the new Bilstein shocks on it, which I drove back in Moab. Freaking awesome.
Which ones are they? Are they 8100s?
5100s and 5160s.
Okay.
And so this is Mopar's 14th year producing limited edition vehicles across Dodge, Jeep, and Chrysler vehicles. And this Gladiator, if you want it, and it's not spoken for yet, you might want to run out to your local dealer and pick one up or order it now. Hey, Lightning, did you hear?
No, and I don't care.
No, I haven't heard.
So I think we were talking about the Rivian R1T and R1S. I don't remember if we talked about the power in our last episode, but just in case, it's still worth repeating. The old quad motor powertrain used to be 835 horsepower. It's now it gets a little bit of a bump for the new Gen 2.
From 835, you said?
835, just a little bit of a bump. To 1,025 horsepower.
No.
And when
1,025 horsepower?
Listen, when using launch control, the torque output rises to 1,198 pound-feet.
So I did not know that, even though I saw a clip of our friends at TFL Truck drag racing one of these things.
0 to 60? 2.5.
Oh, my God.
2.5. And here's what sucks. The tri-motor powertrain, so you get the two rear motors but a single front, you drop all the way down to 850 and 1,013 pound-feet of torque.
All the way down.
Oh my God.
Do you notice, Holman, as now an EV driver, I notice, I don't know if you notice, but I feel like people, some people drive EVs differently than a gas car.
Is that the EV driving itself?
And no, it's not. And here's why. Because there's so much torque as soon as you hit the pedal, and it's instant, unlike a gas or diesel vehicle, internal combustion, where you hit the pedal and it takes, even if you have let's say you have even a pedal monster, right? And you've got very little lag at all. It still takes a while for it to accelerate. Let's say 60 to 80, that type of thing. But a Tesla, you hit it and it just goes. So I'm cruising along every day and I'm looking over at people driving Teslas, 3, X's, Y's, whatever. And the way they drive is go, slow down, faster, slow down, faster, slow down, faster, slow down. and you don't drive that way when you're in a normal internal combustion engine car, because when you hit the gas, it speeds up kind of smoothly and then slows down.
Well, I think there's a few things
You're
at play.
steady, they just drive it like a light switch.
No, it's because regen. They have high regen, and that's why when they lift off to coast, like you do in an ICE car, you are regenning, so it's almost like having the brakes on. That's what you're seeing. So the proper thing to do, I guess, is that when I coast, I always still have a little bit of throttle, so I'm not like slamming on the brakes for the guy behind me. So I'm conscious of that.
I mean,
most of the Rivian, the Nissan Ariya, I'm sure Tesla also show you on a screen when the brake lights are on, because there will be times that you're wondering, like, man, if I lift off here, are my brake lights on? So it'll show a graphic so you know what the driver behind you is seeing, which is kind of cool.
This is interesting. Yeah, I had a friend in high school, and I'll never forget, we went to the Forum for a concert to go see the Smiths. And he had a BMW, like a 3 Series or something. And he couldn't hold his foot steady on the gas. We were always accelerating or decelerating. We were never just smoothly going down the highway. And I asked him, I said, why are you driving like that? He goes, driving like what? I go, you're always accelerating or decelerating. He's
like, why are you always judging me when I drive?
No, he had no comprehension that he was doing that. He was just
I've been in drivers like that. Some people are on-off. I've been in plenty of cars where you get seasick because the driver can't maintain a steady speed.
It's super weird. So maybe that's just the same kind of driver, but I think it's exacerbated when you have that much torque. And you're like, go, stop.
So speaking of weird, glitchy truck EV things, Johnny Lieberman recently wrote a story for Motor Trend talking about how some Rivian R1Ts are going through tires in 6,000 miles.
Oh, why? Is they wrong rated tires?
No. It's the fact that all of these people think, oh, there's a conserve mode, which puts it in front wheel drive only. And they think to themselves, wow, I'm going to be in conserve mode because I get more miles, and it lowers the car down to basically the kneel position for the most aero.
So it's cambering out the tires.
Cambering out, and you aren't spreading the power load between 4 wheels anymore. You're only doing it through 2, and you're just roaching the inside of the tires. And so he has an interesting piece. He owns an R1T, telling other Rivian owners, listen, like, your tire, like, read the owner's manual. You shouldn't be using conserve in that way for daily driving and things like that. Number one. Number two, it's a user error. And goes on to explain, like, don't do that unless you need to conserve. So anyway,
that's a good observation.
I read it. I knew he was a Rivian owner. I'm like, it's Johnny. He's probably gonna. But he had some really good points.
Like, I'm like, dude's got a point.
Also, he's got a Ariya this week.
Oh, really?
But a loaded one with the dual motor and the big battery that does 0 to 60 in like 4.5 seconds. And so I can't wait to follow up with him and see how he likes it. Hey, Lightning, did you hear?
What you talking about, Willis?
Stellantis recalls more than 211,000 Ram trucks, Dodge Durango SUVs. So this one is a voluntary recall campaign covering 211,581 SUVs and trucks with a problem with their ABS control module software. The issue could render the vehicle's stability control system inoperable and make it so the driver can't maintain traction in slippery conditions or an emergency lane change. So according to the National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration, it impacts 50,000 Durangos. The rest are 2,500 pickups and 3,500 chassis cab models. They have a suspected period for when these vehicles were built. So it's April 14th, 2021 through December 27th, 2022 on the 2,500s. There's a handful, like 3,500 chassis cabs that were April 21st, 21 through November 25th, 22. And then the Durangos are the balance of those. That's August 23rd, 21 through December 9th, 22. So it sounds like they're going to be able to make a fix by updating the software on the ABS control module on the affected vehicles. Most of the vehicles are probably still under warranty, and they'll cover it. I'm sure if you're out of warranty, it'll still be covered, but the company will notify owners and dealers of the software July 26th. So if you own one of those vehicles, keep your eyes open for that recall. It should be as simple. Go in the dealer and get
what if come over your RAM app? Probably, right?
Well, if you have it, it'll probably tell you. It won't update over your RAM app, but it'll notify you that you have an active recall.
Gotcha.
And one last story here. What the heck? Hey, Lighting, did you hear?
Yeah!
This is a super irritating story from Nico.
Thanks for that lead-in.
I don't know if it's Damadia or Damasha at The Drive. He has an article that he just wrote, published June 11th, 2024, that says, the Chevy Silverado EV should have been named Avalanche.
Well, you've been calling it the Evalanche forever.
It's like, dude, we've been saying that for 2 years. I think he's a listener to the show. I think Caleb Jacobs told him about the Truck Show podcast.
Caleb, are you guilty of sharing?
Oversharing.
Well, I was going to say sharing Holman's potential trademark that he couldn't have owned because he doesn't work for Chevy.
His subhead says the comparisons popped up immediately when Chevy revealed the Silverado EV, and after driving it, I'm even more convinced. Yeah, we know. Nico. I think after that, I'm ready for some emails.
You email? Yeah. I email? Do it. We email? That's right. Everybody email. Type it up. You email? Proofread. I email? Send it. We email? Click it. Everybody email.
Beat it. All right, what do you got over here? We have this one here. Can I start?
Sure.
Milk truck question. Because the milk truck brings all the boys to the yard.
That's not.
Who's this from? This is from Stuart Brodian. A few years ago, I heard they might be bringing back milkmen in the UK. Does anyone today in the USA make anything like a milk truck? That's a great question. The closest thing we have, I think, to a milk truck are those all-access vans. Have you seen those things? Who makes those? Because one of my guys at work, Matt Gamble, and I are obsessed with those access vans.
Like the Bright Drops?
It's the really weird-looking access van that looks like a...
Is it
70,
FedEx?
No, like a 50s English taxi.
So it's not the thing that I...
Not even close to that at all. No. This is something that's been around for years.
No idea.
Gas-powered.
AM General MV1.
Is that what it is? Yeah, they're around Southern California, and they're super cool.
No, they're not. They're horrible. They were designed to replace a taxi and basically have turned into, I guess, like a lot of people are using for like mobility vehicles and things like that, fleet only. I think they're
because they've got a long slider door.
Well, the whole point of it was to make it easy for people to access them.
Right, that's why I called it an access van.
Yeah, but it's not really a van. It's like a tall wagon.
Yeah, it is called tall wagon.
They're ugly.
But I don't like the one that's in your photo here because the one that I like are way ugly.
No,
and
these are
they're so ugly that they're cool.
That's not ugly.
That's it. That's it. The one on the right. Look how ugly that is.
That's hideous.
Official bus ride.
Yeah. No.
Mobility Ventures MV1.
Yeah, there's a whole history behind that vehicle. They were. I think they were released back in 2016. And
can you buy those?
No, I think it's fleet only.
I want to get one of those.
What?
I want it on air, on the ground. It would look it's so silly looking. It looks like you took
It's literally made by the same people.
You know what it looks like?
That make Humvees.
You know what it looks like?
What?
My kid's Scion XB, the toaster, right? No, listen to me.
No, I'm not listening to you any
The
longer.
Scion XB, but then you blew it up with helium, and it got puffy. That's what it looks like.
Horrible.
Don't you think?
Horrible. Trevor Nemero writes, 7,000 pounds? I actually said, holy shit, out loud. Gosh damn, man, my 2021 F-250 6.7 crew cab short box 37s and toolbox is 7,900 pounds with me in it. That's nuts, man. Treat those poor axle shafts with respect with that 392 power. That was from Trevor. Yeah, I may have hit 7,700 pounds on a trip with the 392.
That's a very heavy Jeep. No more squat is the subject line from Greg Madden. Hey, by the way, my wife loves your shoes. I sent an article to y'all last year about this and following up with it today. I love that they're stopping this stupid look, but they've also added a regulation about lifted trucks. Hopefully, they will not enforce the lifted truck part. Love the show, 5 stars, and yeah, buddy. He's sharing an ad with an anti-symbol around a squatted Ford F-150, and it says, no more warnings. Apparently on South Carolina roads, they will be enforcing South Carolina Code Section 56-5-4445, which says no more squatted trucks.
5-star review! 5 stars!
Yeah, buddy.
Thank you, Greg.
All right, I got one here from Kelly Nauman. Says, hey, Banksy and Hall Racer. Here are some pics of my new feed truck. It started out as a special order cab and chassis. It had a Hydra bed, flatbed put on it. It's a 2024 F350 XLT regular cab with the long frame and the 7.3 Godzilla. With the new emissions on diesels putting around the pastures feeding during the winters, I wouldn't get hot enough to burn out the filter. Actually plugged a filter on a tractor this winter for the same reason and had to have the mechanic come force regen it. Funny you should say that. The Kubota that we have at the ranch, when I was dragging the roads and grading, my uncle's like, make that throttle higher so you don't plug up the DPF. And I'm like, okay. So he runs that thing like at hot 75% throttle all the time. And he's like, yeah, you don't need to get this thing plugged up. It's like, oh, man, okay. He says, Lighting, you mentioned a couple months ago wanting to drive a cab and chassis. Trust me, unless you hate your kidneys and back, don't. I had to drive it about 80 miles to get the bed on it. It was one of the worst drives of my life. Kelly. And he says, P.S. Unfortunately, Lightning, I wasn't able to work I seen into this email and promise to do better next time. Mount your parameters and 5 stars. And here's his picture of his.
Monitor key engine parameters.
Congratulations, you have earned 5 stars.
That's a pretty cool looking cabin chassis. Too bad it rides like ass. EV incentives? How? Double question mark from Joe Holimo. Hey, Holman. I want to start out by saying,
Joe.
I want to start out by saying I've been listening to the podcast since its inception. I want to say thank you on behalf of Holman and I. You and Lightning do a top-notch job. You've got great dynamics, and you're always sure to keep up the shows with informative and interesting topics. I've recently been hearing you talking about EVs and the crazy incentives manufacturers have been giving to get these things moving off the lots. I love your idea of taking advantage of these incentives to grab a cheap EV as a grocery getter. The problem is, despite the great incentives the manufacturers post, the dealers are a completely different story. They return my emails giving much higher quotes, giving an excuse that the license/taxes/dealer add-ons raise the price. Is there any secret to getting the dealerships to honor the manufacturer's incentives? Am I just talking to the wrong dealerships? Any advice is welcome. Thank you, John.
So this is what you have to realize. There's a few things. So most of the time, there's one loss leader. The dealerships always have a little bit of wiggle room. So if the manufacturer has an incentive of X, the dealership will always be like, hey, here's one model that we'll do a little bit lower to undercut our local dealer competition, bring you in. That one probably sells right away, and then they go back to the regular one. It's called a loss leader. The other thing that you need to realize is every time a manufacturer posts that article, that story, that blog post, or that advertisement when they say $99 a month, it always excludes tax and license. So always add about $20 or $30 to it. So nobody's getting a $99 lease. It's really going to be like $120 or something like that.
Because legally, they don't have to put that stuff right on that ad.
I don't know that. All I know is that the reality is that's just the lease pricing, and you have to put in. So I recommend following a couple guys on either X or Instagram. One is Car Dealership Guy. He's really good. And there's also Lease Hacker, and they'll give you all the local incentives. And on Lease Hacker, they have a forum where a lot of people will report what they actually paid and tell you how they paid for that. So it gives you some inside baseball of what they were able to do. And then people have to show their actual contracts, so you know it's legit. But yeah, so always remember there's a loss leader, so don't fall for that. Realize you're probably going to be paying $20, $30 more a month. And dealerships do have some additional wiggle room beyond that deal, so they can remove holdback, or they can fudge some numbers, or sometimes there's some hidden incentives for the dealer that they can work with you on. It just depends. The best thing is to build a relationship with a dealer and buy multiple cars from that person, and they're going to take care of you as a customer. Always good to go through the internet.
It's easier said than done, by the way. Buy multiple cars.
Listen, always go through the internet to get conversation going, but realize that that's not always going to be the best deal.
Is there any advantage to asking for fleet services right away?
No, I don't think so. No? I think that's an old wives' tale. I think any salesperson has, or at least the GM. What annoys me, and I know I've got car dealership guys who listen to the show. What I don't like is when there's a young or not a senior salesperson and they have to keep going back to the GM behind the black glass to go get a deal done. I've walked into that office before.
That happened to me 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I've walked into that office. I said, am I dealing with you or am I dealing with him? Because I'm about to walk. Because I'm not dealing with both of you. So my time's valuable. You're wasting my time, and I'm getting really upset right now. So if you want to do this deal.
You know what happened? So we start off with a salesman.
Yep.
Because we got at least my son a car.
Yep.
And we had the price, and it was way too high. And he's like, let me go talk to my guy. Back into the room, comes out, back, forth. We're like, seriously with this?
Yeah.
I can see him. He's right there. Why don't you just walk over here? And he finally just did. the salesman boned out, and we just dealt with the finance manager. And then finally the salesman came back around later and brought us the waters and coffees and the whole thing, like schmoozed. But we just dealt right with the guy, and we got it was close to the price that we wanted. We had to bend over a little bit, but whatever. The experience was made much nicer when we dealt with that dude.
Yeah, I just, like I said, if you're looking specifically at leases, go check out Lease Hacker. Like I said, follow them or go to their website. A lot of great information and a lot of people. And there's even dealerships who there might be a guy who does all the leases who are on that. And so there was a guy in South Orange County where we are saying, hey, hit me up direct. If anybody on this forum, tell me you're a Lease Hacker forum member, and here's the deal I'll give you. No BS. And so there's those guys out there. So just see if there's somebody in your area. But the advertised price is never going to be the full tilt. All right, got one last one here from Eric Davis with the title Diesel Inappropriateness. He says, what's up, donut hole and light beer? Okay, not sure that's my favorite ones.
Sorry.
Oh.
Can you believe it's almost 4 weeks and I still have whatever this is?
Yeah, stop trying to give it to me.
Oh, my God. Dude, we had 13 people out of work this earlier today.
Because you're a super spreader.
No, I don't think so. I tested twice for COVID and got it was negative. But I think the new COVID's going around. I think the tests are wrong. I think
all right. Can I read this email?
I got the 19.
It's time to go.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Are you sure you don't have the 24?
I might.
Okay. He says, I want to thank you guys for your great discussion on diesel inappropriateness. In February, I purchased a new-to-me travel trailer, and while I was within the towing specs of my 2023 Ram 1500 Eco Diesel, I was on the cusp of being over my payload rating, so I decided it would be smart for me to shop for a new truck. That is a bold move, Cotton, because so many people just stick with the truck they have, and they are too close to the limit without a lot of overhead, so deciding to go after safety and get a bigger truck's a pretty big deal. So anyway, he says, being that my truck spends probably 85% of its life unloaded, I decided a Cummins was not the best option for me, and I ended up with a 21 Ram 2500 Mega Cab with the 6.4-liter gas engine. It tows my 9,000-pound trailer with ease and makes the trips comfortable. While I do miss 27 to 28 miles per gallon I got with my Eco Diesel and the plush car-like ride, I've been very happy with the 2500, even though it only gets about 14 miles per gallon or so. Thanks for steering me in the right direction, and keep up the great episodes and keep the suckage low. And don't forget, everything matters, and that's from Eric Davis, and he's in Wixom, Michigan.
Lower the suckage! Thanks for watching, and remember, everything matters.
That's awesome. I think diesel inappropriateness is a thing. You saw Mike Finnegan just posted and tagged us up that he bought a Super Duty. He called me probably a month and a half ago, and he goes, hey, I'm looking for a Super Duty. I want to get rid of my Ram truck. I got a new enclosed trailer.
I didn't see. Did he get the 7.3?
He got the 7.3. And so I put him in touch with a Ford dealership that I knew in Georgia nearby him. And they took good care of him and were able to get him the truck that he wanted. He basically had the Ram truck and he had a Tundra. And he needed something that towed more than the Tundra, that could do the Ram truck work, but could haul the family around because he's taking his kids to different sports and stuff.
He's got to tow the boats and all that stuff.
He's got the car. So he's like, I really feel like a Super Duty's the right thing. And he called me, and you know, Mike and I have known each other for, over 20 years.
Yeah, but he talked to you, and then he talked to us on the show.
Yeah.
And that's where we...
But my point is that we had a conversation. We walked through what he was looking for, and I said, you know, the diesel's not going to be right for you. Get the gas truck. And he did. And Dave Chappelle, same thing. Dave Chappelle hit us up and said, hey, I'm getting new Super
Not
Duty.
that Dave Chappelle,
No. Dave Chappelle from Dirt Every Day, and he loves that thing. So I just think with all the after treatment and everything, if you aren't towing all the time and doing the work and getting those engines hot and burning out all that soot, they're not good for around town and occasional towing. Just go get the gas motor, enjoy the cheaper maintenance, enjoy the less fluids you have to do, enjoy some places cheaper fuel prices, even though you're going to be spending a little bit more. Really, the only downside is going to be miles per gallon. Everything else, and maximum towing. And if you aren't towing max, you're not really giving anything else up. Even the ride's better because you don't have so much weight over the front axle. So I'm telling you guys that the gassers that are available, especially on the Fords, great setup in a 3/4 ton truck.
I'm working on a turbo system for that engine. Maybe we're working on a turbo system for that engine.
Oh, turbo and a 7.
I can't say anything more about it.
Just leave them hanging, Lightning.
truckshowpodcast@gmail.com. He's at Holman at truckshowpodcast.com. And I'm at Lightning at truckshowpodcast.com.
The Truck Show, the Truck Show, the Truck Show, oh, oh.
And if you want to have your email read on the show, you got a question or a comment or something we helped you with or something you need help with, hit us up, truckshowpodcast@gmail.com or individually at lightning@truckshowpodcast.com or holman@truckshowpodcast.com. Of course, you can always leave us a voicemail on the 5-star hotline, 657-205-6105, and we love your reviews. Head on over to the Apple Podcast app, even Facebook or Spotify. Leave us 5 stars. It helps with the show and it helps with our visibility. There's so much stuff going on. We need some more Know Your Notes, so send those in. And, of course, you can always head to the website, truckshowpodcast.com, where you can check out our featured products page, which hopefully will be getting a revamp here soon. And then also...
I haven't gotten to it.
Neither of us have. And also the events page, where you can find out what's happening in your neck of the woods. So all those things are great things, and it allows us to interact with our beloved listeners.
Where do you suppose that saying came from? Our neck of the woods.
From like your neck of the woods.
But the neck, like why in neck? I don't know. It's weird, right?
Because you've never lived in the woods. You wouldn't know.
Yeah, where did that come from? I'm going to have to look it up.
Okay, look it up.
They should. No, I'm not going to look it up. Someone email me. Lightning@truckshowpodcast.com.
Lightning is lazy. This is a hashtag we should start doing.
No, don't.
And Nissan is the presenting sponsor of the Truck Show Podcast, and we love their trucks. Nissan Frontier, Nissan Titan. Head on over to nissanusa.com where you can build a price, or down to your local Nissan dealership where you can check them out in person, go for a test drive, or even give them a call or go online to set up a Nissan at-home visit, where they will bring in select markets the vehicle to your house, and you don't even have to go down to the dealer to experience the Nissan of your dreams.
And if you have a 22, 23, or 2024 Ram with a 6.7-liter Cummins diesel, and you've been dying to get your hands on a Banks Monster Ram intake elbow to not only improve your throttle response, but to prevent grid heater bolt failure.
And not be illegal.
And, well, I was getting to that.
Okay.
It's now available to you Californians. We got a CARB EO. 50-state mother effing compliance.
That is the only one on the market, right?
It is the only 50-state emissions-compliant intake elbow for the Ram 6.7-liter Cummins diesel. Go to bankspower.com to get yours.
And if you're looking for any type of synthetics for your ride, whether it's lubricants or chemicals or car care products, head on over to amsoil.com. AMSOIL is the first in synthetics. We love all their products, especially the Severe Gear Oil. It's designed for those who demand the best, engineered with high film strength for high load demands, reduces friction, and provides the ultimate protection against wear. It excels in extreme temperatures, helps maintain efficiency, and outperforms conventional gear oils. It's excellent for cars and trucks, but especially well suited for towing, hauling, racing, commercial use, off-road, or other severe duty. The durable Easy Pack makes the job cleaner, faster, and eliminates the need for a pump. And you can do those disc services right on the driveway or in the garage. Super easy. We love them. amsoil.com.
Stay tuned for something special.
The Truck Show Podcast is a production of Truck Famous LLC. This podcast was created by Sean Holman and Jay Tillis with production elements by DJ Omar Khan. If you like what you've heard, please open your Apple Podcast or Spotify app and give us a 5-star rating. And if you're a fan, there's no better way to show your support than by patronizing our sponsors.
Got a shiny new TRX, black as a crow. Rolling down the back roads, letting everybody know. But when it's parked at home under the Long Beach sky, I need cars standing by to keep an eagle's eye. Them city trucks can never handle this terrain, but when I hit the town, need protection just the same. From OntarioBollards.com, got stainless steel line. Standing proud and tall, they hold their ground all night. Keeping my TRX safe, stainless steel kings. Against the hustle and the bustle, ain't no grievous things. Guarding my pride and joy, with Bollards so fine. From Ontario's finest, peace of mind is mine. Through fields of green and rivers blue as the sky, my TRX roars like thunder, catching every eye. But when I head back home, park it snug and tight. Those Bollards from Ontario got me sleeping right. Protecting the dream I drive from breaking hearts and thieves. Standing solid like mountains under autumn leaves. 'Cause no matter where I roam, the roads I take, Those ballers guarantee my TRX stays safe. Keeping my TRX safe. Stainless steel kings against the hustle and the bustle. Ain't no grievous things. Guarding my pride and joy with ballers so fine. From Ontario's finest, peace of mind is mine. Protecting the dream I drive, breaking hearts and peace. Standing solid like mountains under all the leaves. 'Cause no matter where I roam, the roads I take, those ballers guarantee my TRX stays